welcome to the Might Be Project.
We good now? Okay, awesome, man. Yeah, got my boy Rob in the house. Yeah, man. Thanks for being here, brother.
No, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I don't think I've seen you in a man. How long has it been?
Easily 6 months.
Yeah.
But you've been traveling like crazy too.
Yeah, no, I just business stuff, man, and trying to get it going. But what was the last time I saw you? Jiu-jitsu?
Probably at the
jiu-jitsu.
gym. Yeah.
I know we had coffee. That was probably like last year, right? Late last year.
Had it been probably November, December. Yeah.
Well, anyways, I want you to give a brief intro, man, on yourself, on what you do, and and how you can provide some knowledge to the peeps out there, man.
Sure. So my name's Robert Armendariz. I'm originally from West Texas, and back in 2016, actually shout out my hometown. I'm from Presidio, Texas, which is in West Texas. Presidio. So, I started a financial planning firm about almost 7 years ago next month. So I've been an advisor ever since. At the end of June, I think it's gonna hit the 7-year mark. So, but yeah, I mean, it's been nothing but growth since there. But yeah, it's been about 7 years of just helping people, individuals, families, high net worth individuals, and now going to business owners, doing their financial planning from the ground up. So it's been a lot of fun, man.
Man, that's what's up, dude. You're always shaking and baking, man, and always providing knowledge. I love it, dude, and that's why I wanted to have you here today. Can you get a little bit more surgical with the financial planning, financial advising? What exactly does that entail? Because there's a lot of like new people out there, me being one of them, entrepreneurs, business owners, real estate professionals. Like, what exactly is? Because again, I was like, my misconception of financial planning, I talked this about, I was like, I thought you had to be balling to be financially planning.
No. That's a huge misconception. Honestly, like the funniest way to explain it is I'm a personal trainer for your finances.
There you go.
So and it's something to where like there's no cookie cutter way. Everybody's different. And everybody's goals are different. That's what's wild too, is when you sit down with an individual, it's probably retirement, wealth building, legacy planning, estate planning, like everybody's goals is completely different. And so I kind of have to be well-rounded in any direction we take them. But just like a personal trainer, right? You want to be buff, you want to lose weight, right? Are you trying to gain leg strength? Like, what is the goal? And the personal trainer's job is to get you there. And like the other misconception is thinking that you got to have a lot of money to be financially sound, right? Like it's a huge one. Like the big one I get is people always saying like, Rob, I want to invest, but I know you need like 50K or 100K. I was like, who's telling you these things? Right. And like, I don't know where people see this. Maybe it's because it's the old school way of thinking. Oh, I need a lot of money to hire someone to take care of this money. It's like, no, it's a slow burn, just like personal training, right? It takes a while to see results, and financial planning is the same thing. Right. And I feel like because the results don't happen quickly and right away, people think, oh, this isn't for me. It's like, no, like legacy has been built generations before you for other families. Like you have to start today. And like my favorite quote when it just comes to planning is like the best time to start investing or planning was 10 years ago, but the second best time is today. So it's really just that. It's honestly kind of giving people direction. And my mentor said something years ago that I use. It's like if we're in San Antonio, so if you tell me you want to go next door, I'm going to tell you to walk. If you tell me you want to go to Austin, I'm going to tell you to drive. If you tell me you want to go to New York, I'm going to tell you to fly. Tell me where you want to go, and I'm going to tell you what vehicle to use. Right. So it's like that's really what financial planning is kind of giving you direction on how to get to where you want to go. So
that's awesome, bro. So when a new professional, new entrepreneur comes to you and say, Rob, like this is what I make, like how do I get started with you?
Right.
Like what's the approach?
It's finances is funny.
I'm asking for myself.
No. Finances is funny because I heard the top 3 most emotional things to talk about or sensitive things to talk about are money, religion, and food, right? Yeah, really? Money, religion, and food. Yeah, you tell someone to change your dietary habits, it's like a personal shot. You know what I mean? But like with finances, especially growing up in the Hispanic culture, you don't talk about money. It's disrespectful, and that always frustrated me because I was that kid that was always curious. I was always like, why? How much is this? How much is that? How much is that? And it wasn't because I was judging people. It's like, no, like, why do we have to pay this piece of paper for something? And if we are, like, why this amount? Like, I was that curious kid
Yeah.
who was asking the questions that everybody was like, you shouldn't be asking this, Robert. That's disrespectful. But I was curious, like, why does this person have this house and this person have this house? Very messed up to ask, but I was like, that makes no sense because this person's working more than this person.
For sure.
So it makes, and then I started getting into books like Think and Grow Rich, and I was like, oh, it's all up here. It's a different way of thinking. But going to your question, because it's such a sensitive topic, I always tell you, you got to be vulnerable with me. I'll be vulnerable with you, but you have to be vulnerable with me. You got to tell me your goals. You got to tell me your income. You got to tell me your situation. Like, tell me your credit card debt. Tell me your debt. And what's very strange to me, like the thing that it sounds bad, but it irritates me is when someone says they need my help, right? Or they're like, Rob, I need to talk to you. I need to sit with you. And they always say, I'm not ready yet. I'm like, what does that mean? It's like saying I'm not ready to go to the gym yet. I'm like, when are you ever going to be ready? You just have to go. It's the same concept. Like, I hear that a lot. Like, Rob, I'm not ready. I'm like, what does that mean? Ready for what? Like, I just need to talk to you. I need to figure out what your situation is to see if you even need me right now. Because most of the time, it's not even about 50-50 chance when you meet with me. It's not even me you need yet. It's a CPA or an estate planning attorney. Or when people say, Rob, I need a will. Okay, that's not me, but I'm going to tell you how the will works. And then I need to send you to an attorney to put that together.
Gotcha.
Right? Or people say, Rob, I'm having this tax issue. Okay, I'm going to tell you what you should do with taxes, but at the same time, I'm not a CPA, so I'm going to send you to a CPA. So when people say I'm not ready, it's all like, bro, if anything, you're digging yourself more in a hole, not talking to someone. It doesn't have to be me, but not talking to someone. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
So it's really just being vulnerable. Like, be honest with us, because I cannot help you if you don't tell me everything. And it's very irritating when I put together a plan for someone and then like 6 months later, they're like, Rob, this happened. And 2 years ago, I was like, I thought you told me everything. Sure. Right? So when you throw me a curveball, I'm going to have to change up everything for you. And somehow it's my fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So financial planning, financial advising, and financial therapist.
Yeah. Right. Dude. No, it's crazy. Like it's all psychological too. That's one thing I've learned. Like as I continue in the career, and like this summer we're making some major changes, which I'm super excited for. But I've learned it's all psychological. It's all psychological. Like, we give money this huge power amongst us, when in reality, like, it's just a piece of paper. And I'm a huge quote guy. Like, everybody at the office, everybody at the office makes fun of. They're like, you're the quote guy, but like, it just, when you break it down in a sentence, it makes sense to me. And it was either control your money before it begins to control you. And people are like, what do you mean? I was like, if you don't control your finances right away, if you don't start building up these habits with the income that you have, I don't care if it's 50K, 60K, like, start creating the habits. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start to buy things, take out credit cards, do whatever, get into these bad habits. And then you have to now base your decisions on the finances you have. Right? Because now the money controls you. Now the amount in your bank account controls what you can do. Rob, I can't do this because I don't have that money. It's all like, yeah, but I see what you drive. You know what I mean? I see you, I have you on social media. Like, I see what you're doing. Right? So it's all like, it's the finances are now controlling you. Does that make sense? What the finances, what you can actually afford is now making the decisions for you. Because I guarantee you, if you had all the money in the world, you wouldn't be doing what you were doing. But you can't do what you want to do because now the amount in your account controls you. Right? So it's like, you have to control your habits and your money before it begins controlling. It's a sneaky burn too. Yeah, it's a
training, and you having more cheat meals, right? And
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. No, it is. It's like, it's little bitty things like it, and it's just like the gym, you know. And I always go back to the gym. I'm sure you can relate. Like, once you start seeing results, it becomes an addiction. And I have a business owner out where I'm from, where he's like investing money is an addiction to me now. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, it's just awesome to see my egg grow. Like, it's so cool to just open up and be like, oh, cool. And I inherited this client, right? So I inherited him. But to see what he's done in 20 years with the finances he has, I was like, dude, you created these habits that are so hard to break. That's now an addiction, but now you can do whatever you want. Every time I call him, he's out of town somewhere enjoying with his family.
That's spot on, brother.
So Yeah. So it's interesting, but again, it's all psychological.
Yeah, no, definitely spot on, because that's one of the, if I had mentioned it before on the podcast about, people always ask me, how do I start? Where do I begin? In real estate. And, it's just, you have to start, you have to get in there. You have to, but, obviously every individual is different, but, I forgot the point I was going to make. You were just mentioning it right now, but, man, what was I going to talk about? But I forgot, man. I lost my train of thought. I didn't want to interrupt you, but yeah, just basically starting off, and everybody's different. And fuck, dude, I lost my train of thought. Whatever. I didn't want to interrupt you on that one, dude. But
You're good.
yeah, man,
You're good. I probably went off on a tangent.
No, which is great. Yeah, man. But going back to new entrepreneurs and stuff like that, what are some of the tips that you tell people when they're first starting out? Hey, I'm helping you. Set up your finances, and here's your goals that you want to meet. But for the new entrepreneurs, like, what kind of advice do you give them? What kind of mentorship do you give them when you're planning? I know it's kind of like on the same realm of like beginning.
Yeah, no. Like, it's true that like the entrepreneur way of life has become so large nowadays. But one thing, it's not so much mentorship; it's more being realistic. And every business owner, I tell them the same thing. I was like, look, I know you want to invest money. You've heard all these things about how money grows and the compound interest, et cetera, et cetera. But I can guarantee you, and when you invest, there's no guarantees, but this I can guarantee, I will never beat a successful business's rate of return. Okay? So if you're a starting entrepreneur, all your money should be focused on building your business, because the rate of return that your business brings, I will never beat that. The S&P average is what, 9.72, maybe 12%, right, in a good 5-10 year span. That's never going to beat a successful business, right? So I always tell entrepreneurs, like, one thing, if you want to invest in something, it's yourself. Like, and I'm sure you understand, awesome. Like, yeah, like, bro, the world is filled with so much knowledge, it's impossible to keep up. And when you look at Bed Bath & Beyond, if you don't adapt, then Amazon's going to come and just absolutely crush you. So it's like, the first thing, you need to invest in yourself. The second, you need to invest in mentorship, right? Now, when you have money coming in, okay, now start thinking about legacy planning with your finances, right? But like, people will make $100K in their business their first year or whatever, their second year, even their third year. And they're like, oh, I'm making all this money. I'm like, right now you are. You need to make sure those systems are still in play. And then when the money's coming in, residually and consistently, then we can start having a plan with it.
For sure.
But I think jumping the gun, right, wanting to do all these crazy things with your money before the business itself is on autopilot. And when I mean autopilot, I don't mean like just staying consistent, but growing consistently, right? I think that's where people mess up. Like, hey, your business, like, it's impossible. Can I protect your money? Right? Can we start growing the nest egg? Can we start, building up that legacy and estate for you? Absolutely. But until your business is doing fantastic, there's nothing we can really do. And in order for your business to be fantastic, you need to invest in yourself. No. You need to invest in your business. You need to do this. So it's a very strange, it's a very strange thing to tell people, right? Because they think I'm over here going to be like, yes, write a check to this and let's do that. It's like, no, bro, you need to invest in your business first. Yeah. I'm not going to beat that ROI. It's impossible. If you have a successful business, I will never beat that rate of return, I guarantee you. So it's pretty shocking, but I've realized that a lot of entrepreneurs respect me for that, right? And later on, people that I told this 4 or 5 years ago are now calling me saying like, Rob, okay, now let's get the game plan.
For sure, man.
Because taxes are here. Now let's get the game plan because I have employees. Or now let's get the game plan because I need to protect my wife, my kids. I need to make sure they're okay. Like, now let's get the game plan set now that now that this machine is running.
Yep. Absolutely, man. That's key, bro. Like, you hit it spot on, dude. Invest. I tell, rookie investors too, man, like, where do I start? Where do I begin? Well, start with whatever you want to get into. What's your niche? What do you multifamily, single family, wholesaling,
right.
Short-term rentals. Again, just like you said, invest in yourself. I still go to seminars. I'm still educating myself. I'm still reading. I'm still like putting myself out there, being vulnerable. Like, I don't know certain stuff, elements to this XYZ to get to here. Like, hey, who can show me? And
right.
Again, I mentioned it again, like, changing brokerages, how I was able to, scale up my game, because I started off residential distressed properties, and now, in the multifamily commercial game, and it's different mindsets, different conversations, different types of clients. but again, still having that background to, help people that are just starting out. And,
Right.
hey, I have rookie investors in multifamily, but still being able to invest in yourself, growing and scaling up. When you told me a couple of years ago, assistant, bookkeeper, accountant, all this stuff, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Entities, like, I remember one person, super successful local investor, told me, I had lunch with them one time, and he's like, right off the bat, start 3 entities. You're a real estate agent. I was like, wait, what?
That's
Like,
crazy.
what? Why? Like,
Yeah.
why, bro? He's like, one for your real estate, like commission, one for your holdings, and one for your like general contracting, all that stuff. And I was like, bro, you're tripping. Like, thinking in my head, like, what? Why? Dude, within that first year, I like forced myself to open those things up because I was like, I needed something for my holdings. I needed to separate that. I started an S corp for like my real estate stuff, because my CPA told me to.
Right.
And then I started an investment company with, general contracting. So I was like, and a year later, I was like, damn, dude. Like, now I was like, that was great advice, and it was like these people that are just on another level giving me, those nuggets.
They're playing chess, you're playing checkers.
Yeah, absolutely.
essentially.
For sure, man. But invest in yourself, key thing, man.
Mentorship is huge.
Mentorship.
Right? Like I had a mentor. I have a
You still
couple.
have a mentor?
Oh yeah. Oh, dude,
perfect.
I'm always going
Sweet.
to.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
always going to, like, my
Oh, yeah.
next endeavor is real estate. And it's because I need to start now allocating different types of investments, right? Like, I'm not closed-minded. Everybody thinks when you're like in the stock market, you're completely against real estate. It's like, no, like everything has to be allocated and diversified. But the thing that you said is it again, here's another quote. You can't chase 2 rabbits at the same time and catch them both. And I feel like so many people nowadays try to do that. I'm going to be a real estate this and a real estate that. It's like, bro, you haven't even mastered one. How are you gonna, you know what I mean? So to me, like, I've been told for years, you need to get in real estate. I was like, bro, I'm still mastering a financial practice.
For sure.
Right? Now that I'm not saying I'm at a place that I'm comfortable, but money is better.
Yeah.
So now I can start throwing money at some of these problems, right? And some of these understandings of these problems. Because in real estate, you're just solving problems.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
You're just solving problems. That's on property. That's
put-
all it is.
Putting
You're
out
just,
fires, baby.
right? I don't know how to solve those problems. And I don't want to not know how to solve these problems and then add these, right? Just because I want to be in the loop. It's all like, no, master one thing. And once you have that going and you understand how to play chess in that game, hey, now start learning how to play chess in this game. Right. And that's one thing I've realized I'm gonna do crypto this, and then I'm gonna do real estate this, and I'm gonna do
crypto.
and then I'm gonna start a hedge fund this. And I was like, brother, you still owe taxes from 4 years ago. You know what I mean? On the past LLC that you opened. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So
For sure,
and when
dude.
I heard that, I was like, you can't chase 2 rabbits at the same time and catch them both. Go catch one, right? And once you got that one, now let's focus on the other. Right. And so going to what we were talking about, like, mentorship in one thing is huge, and then once you move to something else, like, start getting mentorship here, right? And 2 different mentors, but like I have mentors for a couple of things, right? But it's like, but for my practice and my everything, I mean, my mentor was, I don't want to say my everything, but he was the one that was like in a dark tunnel, he'd throw me the flashlight, you know what I mean? Because there was some times where you're like, like, and leveling up, that always happens.
No,
You know,
for
when
sure.
you have to level up, but I think most people don't want to level up because they don't want to go through that dark tunnel. But I enjoy it now. But like that,
Embrace
but
it,
my
man.
mentor was the one that was like, all right, here's a little flashlight. And then you get one flashlight. And then before you know it, he gives you another one, then another one.
brighter,
And,
yeah.
and yeah, and things just get brighter. But yeah, stepping into that dark,
Dude, that's-
stepping into that dark cave can be
Yep.
scary at the
For
beginning.
sure, man. For sure.
But yeah, I mean, to me, mentorship is huge, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you're learning from the wise. Why not take it?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I'm sure you sit down with a lot of individuals. Do you ever sit down with a new client or something, and you're like, man, I'm like learning something from them, and you're like, dude, like,
all the time,
yeah,
all the time. Psychological more than anything.
oh, okay,
But business owners are fun because you start to learn about that specific business, right? Construction, demolition, pharmacy, everything. Like, you're like, dang, I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know that's how pharmacies work. You know what I mean? So you start, yeah, you understand finances, but it's really cool to understand the business that's bringing in the finances. Oh man, I learn all the time, and I get curious too. There's sometimes people come in to meet with me, and before you know it, I'm like, I'm asking them about their business because I'm
For
super
sure.
curious, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious on how it works, and
Mhm.
so it's all the time. But I find it fun. you
No,
know?
it's awesome, man. I love interacting with people, man. There's so like the diverse background. Like I love all that stuff,
Yeah.
man. You know, I'm from Los Angeles originally, bro. So it's so diverse. Everybody's different backgrounds, especially dealing with public service. You
Right.
know, it was just so many different minds and mindsets, and it was like cool because you take a little bit out of everybody like a sponge, you know.
Mhm.
And I remember being a rookie firefighter, I was just like, oh, that senior fireman is like badass, kick ass. Like I'm gonna follow what he's doing,
Right.
you know, take a little bit of him and put it into my tool belt, so to speak. And then, oh man, that guy's a badass medic, you know, like I'm gonna learn from him how he
Mhm.
does certain things, the little tactics. And I do the same thing with real estate, man. That guy, like, you know, mentors like, oh, that dude's doing that. Man, he's doing property management, but I'm not doing property management.
Yeah.
And then this guy's doing this. Oh, dude, I'm gonna take a little bit of
Well,
that.
and it's just like the gym or jujitsu, right?
Yeah.
We met at jujitsu, like it's the same concept. You're gonna roll with someone who's doing something you want to learn,
For sure.
right? Everybody has their different ways of learning. But you're like, I like that guy. Like I like the way he rolls, and I want to learn how he thinks in certain positions, certain situations. And like in the gym too, right? There's some that are bodybuilders, others that are more building for athleticism, others that are yoga. Like, and that's one thing I'm focusing on now. I'm not old, but my body's not what it used to be either, and I know it's just gonna get worse if I don't take care of it. So now I'm over here looking at people who are like all about recovery and understanding stretching and understand.
Dude.
So I'm picking from them, but yeah, like in business, it's always cool to like, because there's no, it's very strange to me. Yeah, people can give you a template, but you can design it how you want, right? So like my practice, I got a template for it through my mentors, but what's cool is I'm designing it the way I kind of want to. But the template, the blueprint itself, the skeleton of it all, right? It's all kind of the same, um, but I think that's the fun part is you reach a point to where you're like this. You know what I mean?
Blessing,
This
man.
is because you want to do it. This is you have the template for real estate, but you also want to add your little touch to it.
No, that's for sure, dude. And no, I'm glad you hit that, bro, because it's just like you, man, putting out value, putting out knowledge to people, man, and being able to give back. I feel like for me, this is like community service. You know, it's like giving people that knowledge, you know, a little bit that's out there on the edge. Like, dude, I want to do this, but I'm not sure. And it's like, you know, coming from my background where I had that secure W-2, that secure retirement to take that leap of faith into entrepreneurship, you know, because this is now my livelihood, you know, but showing people you could do it, you know, it's dream, yeah, but hard work as well, you know, and just being able to do it, you know. And
Entrepreneurship is weird when you're doing something that like when you truly it's such a strange concept. I hate the weekends, man.
what's that?
Yeah, like I hate the weekends. It's so weird. I love Monday mornings.
That's cool.
It's so strange. I love Monday mornings.
That's funny.
Like I get giddy on Sunday, bro, because I know on Monday I'm gonna go work out with my buddy. We're gonna have a great 6 a.m., 6:30 workout. We're gonna get to the office. I'm gonna knock. Maybe I usually have meetings at like 9:30, 10. I'm gonna have a fantastic meeting, like we talked about, learn some stuff. I'm gonna go grab a fantastic lunch either with the client or one of my partners from the office and start bouncing ideas from them. And then afterwards, we're gonna go back to the office, knock out some more work, go have a few drinks to just break down the day, and then go home to my lady. Like I enjoy that. And what's weird is like there's sometimes me and my lady we even talk. We're like, people travel a lot, and we don't. But I don't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this stuff excites me.
Dude, that's
So it's so weird when you get to this entrepreneurship state. Like my lady, she has her boutique. And once she gets on that high, there's no bringing her down, right? When she starts having a plan and things she wants to do. And it's cool because we have vacation, but then we're on the vacation like,
Yeah. Oh man, losing that momentum.
Where's my laptop?
See?
You know what I
Yep,
mean?
yep.
And people call it people say workaholic. I'm just addicted.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Dude. You're
Yeah,
passionate, man.
like I'm passionate to just the growth of who
Absolutely,
I can,
man.
especially now at 29. I look at where I was at 22, not knowing anybody, starting and to be where I am now is like it's like that quote. I didn't make it this far, to only make it this far.
Yeah,
And that
absolutely,
that
man.
addiction of growth, and it's not wanting more physical things. It's
Yeah,
me
totally.
developing as a human.
Totally, bro.
That just
1000%.
Oh,
man.
excites me, and then the high of like
Totally.
big business deals, and so it's like things like that excite me now.
Yeah.
So it's so weird because like there's times on like a Saturday I'm like,
Do-do-do.
yeah, I'm
for
like,
sure,
oh, well, I'm
man.
gonna go to the gym.
Yep. For
I'm
sure.
gonna do this. Like it's just, Like it's so weird. But on like Monday through Friday, I'm like on this hunger.
No,
It's so strange to me.
I feel you, man. There's memes about that, all that stuff, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, real estate every day is Monday. I feel like, and I enjoy that, dude. Like, I enjoy, like you, bro. I'm like pumped. I wake up early to do certain things in order to, start my day, start my week.
Mhm.
But the only way I differentiate the weekends is, obviously my kids are not in school, so it's like
Yeah,
it's a
no,
different element, That's like, oh, okay,
and
cool.
it is different. I don't
Yeah.
have kids. Me and my lady don't have kids, so we're kind of trying to take advantage of that right now. That like, hey, let's grind.
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
But it's just it's so weird to me because I never. It's not that I never thought. It's kind of like when you get there, you don't realize you're there.
Yeah, man.
And there's sometimes I'm in my office and I'm just all like, dang,
Yeah.
like I really love this stuff.
Yeah, man.
I love
that's
that shit.
amazing. That's an
You know what I
amazing
mean?
feeling
Yeah.
too, bro. It's like you look back and you're like, dude, like, all right, like,
Yeah.
cool. But you're the type of person I know for sure that you'll think about it for a second. You're like, okay, keep going. Let's keep priming the pump. Let's keep this momentum
Yeah.
going and stuff like that. There's no off switch,
Yeah,
man.
have to, like,
because no,
get back
I'm
to
the
it.
same way,
Yeah.
bro. Like it's not even like, again, just the passionate, dude. I'm helping people. I'm being able to reach people, being able to assist people get to that next level. And I think, man, people always like, dude, you're doing great. I'm like, I don't really think I'm doing that great.
Yes,
Like,
dude,
it's
all
like,
happens
bro,
all the
it's like,
time.
I'm like, oh, dude, you're killing it. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I only closed one deal this month, but like, I feel like, you keep priming the pump. You're helping people. You're being assertive in other
Yeah.
elements, dude. And your hands are in a lot of pot like mine. It's like,
Well, my buddy I was telling you about him. I won't mention his name. I didn't get his permission. Oh, I want to because that's like my best. That's like
Dude, I
my
want
best
him here,
friend.
man. He sounds like a
we're
freaking awesome dude,
We're
man.
attached at the hip. He showed me this thing years ago that I kind of like strive with. He showed me this thing where the whole concept is you have to get in trouble. Okay. And what that means is like it was a CEO of a company who basically says like he would always find himself in trouble. We're in a position where now he has to think his way out of it. Right. And it's like just like the weights, anything, nothing grows unless it's under pressure. Right. So when you get in trouble, your mind has to now think how to get out of this pressure. So because of that, I always put myself in pressure at least every 6 months.
Do you get in trouble?
I just signed a lease yesterday. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
dang.
So it's like, yeah, I just signed a lease on a bigger office
Hell yeah,
yesterday.
bro.
So yeah, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Or like
Oh, yeah.
when and it's not that you're in trouble, it's just the pressure's there. When I
Sure.
proposed to my lady, I'm like, oh, we got a wedding now. Right? Like, oh, now we're in trouble. And then my lady, she was teaching, she left teaching, started her boutique, and I'm like, now we're both in trouble.
Oh shit!
You know
so
what I mean?
she's full time.
No, yeah, but the business is.
Bro, you should have brought her
hands
on
on. I
today too,
should've.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
she'd
didn't
be-
know that.
She'd be
Yeah.
cool. It's cool.
No, next
it's
episode
cool,
for
it's
sure.
cool to see
Dude,
her.
I love that.
Her
man.
talk about her business, but now we're both in trouble. Like you're in trouble, right? So then and then I got people who are mentees to me, and I'm like, dang, now I'm in trouble. Like I gotta make sure they're okay. So I always find myself in a position at least, and I try to do every quarter, to where I get in trouble, right? And like yesterday, I remember me and my buddy, we looked at the new office space and we're like planning on what to do with it. And he looks at me, he's like, "You got in trouble?" I was like, "I know."
love it.
I was like, "May 1st, bro, we're getting in
I
trouble."
love it. I love it, dude. I'm
We're
gonna
getting in
use that
trouble,
one.
bro.
That's
So
awesome.
now
Getting in
we're always
trouble.
like, okay, let's go to July. We can push the next trouble
Oh yeah.
in
man.
July. See what July gets us in trouble. But it's like my car. When I got my car, I was like, all right, I didn't have a car payment for 2 years. So I got my new car and I was like, oh, I'm in trouble. You know what I mean? I'm in trouble. So it's just it's pressurable situations where it's better for you to grow, but you don't want to do it because you're gonna get in trouble, right? It's gonna bring that pressure. I like that though. I love that. If I'm sleeping, and it's not that like I don't sleep well at night, but if I'm up at night bored, not thinking about things, I'm like, there's something wrong. Like it's too easy now. I need to get in trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
How do you find that happy medium though, man?
I know I'm not gonna die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been in situations where, you think it's the world's ending, and it's like you say when you look back, right? I look back, I'm like, I'm not dead.
Yeah.
So a new lease is gonna kill me? Like no.
No.
If anything, I'm just gonna get better.
No,
So
for sure.
the first couple times is terrifying though.
Yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you what. First couple of times I got in trouble was when I signed my contract to start a financial practice. Like I'm in trouble. I have no salary. I don't know nobody in San Antonio. I'm a 22-year-old, and who am I to tell a middle-aged man what to do with his money? I'm in trouble. That was terrifying. And I look back, I want to give 22-year-old Rob a hug. I was like, bro, I don't know how you did it, but I got in trouble. You know what I mean? And then I dealt with my first, client who makes high six figures. Shit, I'm in trouble. I don't know these types of tax laws. I know taxes is a different ballgame, right? And then you go to business owners. Oh, I need to know LLCs and C corps and S corps. I'm in trouble, right? So it's like but I look back. I never died.
Yeah, man. No, that's a huge
You know what I
point,
mean?
bro. That's for sure. And like I always say in real estate, there ain't no emergencies, man. Like basically, I'm not gonna die.
Yeah.
I went into burning buildings and military blown up, shot like. Yeah, that's
what I'm saying.
Different, man. And this is like it's controlled.
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
Controlled chaos.
And I talked like my father. He crossed the border back in the '80s, did the whole coming from Mexico and looking for the American dream, all that. And like, I'm wearing a suit right now, driving a Mercedes, going to an office. I drink alkaline water. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I have a great. I cannot be saying this is hard. When I hear stories about my dad. Right. And like, I love my father. I might not be the best son, but I have the best dad. Right. And like, I hear the things he went through and I'm like, I think I'll be all right. You know what I mean?
Sure,
I think I'll be okay. And it's like the saying always says, you're not the first and you're not the last. So go look for the advice that got those people out of it too. Right. But you gotta get in trouble, man. And some people they don't want to, right? Because it is high pressure stakes. And that's why, like my lady, I tell her all the time, I'm so proud of you because you get in trouble. You get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, you have to get in trouble.
How long did she teach for?
5 years. 5 years, man. And then from there, she always wanted to do the boutique, and then she took off, and it's been a little over a year, and it's her full-time thing, and it's been cool to see. Getting a front row seat to it all is fantastic.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm proud of her, but yeah, we got in trouble, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. I love that, dude. I love that.
So now from here, I actually brought a change of clothes. I got to go start moving stuff to the new office, man. I'm in trouble, bro.
Damn, bro. All right, man. Let's.
Yeah.
I want to wrap this up, man. With what's some you deal with a lot of real estate professionals, and obviously, my whole thing, my whole portal
about the past couple of years. This has been like the past 2-3 years that real estate's been big.
Yeah. So with our market and whatnot, and again, you see a lot of people. What's some of the pros and cons that you see are the mistakes that real estate professionals make, or do's and don'ts? Like, what do you see with real estate professionals when that you
I think it's
seen, work with, whatnot?
I think it's something that I think all business owners will either win or lose against, and it's staying even. Stop thinking that the highs makes you immortal, and stop thinking that the lows are forever. Right. And like, I've seen real estate people who like, and you know how it goes from one year to another, they're making 200K when they were used to making 50, and they think that's forever. And I'm like, boy, you're about to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, that big paycheck is a blessing and a curse, because you caught up on your bills, you paid credit cards, et cetera, but most people sleep. You know what I mean? It's like, that Kobe always said it. Right? Winning is a cruel mistress that distracts you from the marriage to the game. You know what I mean? And like, I've seen people win, may have a fantastic year, and I see their stories. They're in Vegas, they're in Everett, and I was like, you slept. You're done. Next year, you are going to be like, what happened? Bro, you took months off. So I think that's the biggest thing, is they don't have a system to continue the wins, because they got up here and they thought this was forever, and we all know that's not. Right? Or they get down here and they're like, oh, I'm terrible. It's like, no, you got to stay here. And the good and the bad, like, the thoughts have to be the same. And I mean, you read Relentless, right? And that's all Kobe did. He just came up and cleaned everything up. It didn't matter how much money he made. It didn't matter how hard it was. He just cleaned up and left. And that hit me about almost 5 years ago. I don't care how much I'm making. I don't care how bad this month is. I don't care how good this month is. I have to continue the systems. Right now, I follow a 30-day rule. What I do today pays off in 30 days. So when people are struggling, I was like, "What'd you do a month ago?" I was like, "Oh, well, I didn't really." I was like, "That's why you're struggling today, because of what you did 30 days ago, or didn't do."
For sure.
Right. So I think that's the biggest thing is the consistency. right? And they're always like, well, I want to, and it's funny. It's all psychological. When they're like, Rob, I need your help. I'm like, okay, how was your year? They tell me how their year was. And I'm like, what about this year? Oh, me and my family are going to do this and this. I was like, I'm not going to open up an account for you at all. Because you're going to call me in about 4 months and tell me that you need to liquidate the account, right? Because you created lifestyle inflation. You got one good year to raise up your bills because you got a new car, you got a new this, but you stopped doing the habits to keep that lifestyle. So I'm going to create a plan for you that you're going to liquidate in about 6, 7 months, and you're going to say it's my fault, right?
Yep.
So that's the
Sure,
biggest thing is they don't have the consistency, and that's just not real estate. That's everything,
No,
right? Like they have a great 2, 3 years, and real estate was fantastic during COVID,
sure.
right? 2021,
Absolutely.
everybody became a real estate guru, and they're not there anymore.
Sure. Best
You
time
know
to
what I
buy.
mean? Best time to buy. Yeah, best time
Best
to buy.
time to buy.
And I hear it all the time. They're like, bro, this year's tied interest, and then interest rates went up. Interest rates went. I was like, whoa, yo, you were spoiled.
Yep. But they're still saying, "Oh, it's the best time to buy because there's less competition."
And I'm sure it is. Like if you're good at real estate, you know how to use the system,
for sure.
right? But like you can't this the 10,000 hour rule. I barely me and my buddy, I want to say his name so bad, but he'd calculate. He's like, Rob, you just reached your 12,000 like 11,000 hours. And I was like, I still feel like I'm a rookie, bro. But yet people think they're a professional after a year. I was like, you don't even have 1,000 hours.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest thing is they need to create. They haven't created the consistency, and I've seen some who do it, and the ones who do it, I shake their hands at the gym. I'm like, bro, you're a legend because you never got high, you never got low, you stayed even kill. It doesn't matter how big the paycheck is. To you, it's all $100.
Absolutely, man. No, that's a great point, bro. Because a lot of people ask me, man, like, dude, the market, this and that. It's like, how are you doing? And I go, I don't know, man. I stay busy. I mean, granted, I have a lot of hands in different buckets and whatnot that I do. But, dude, I mean, what you pour into yourself, going back to investing in yourself, mentorship, and then keep priming that pump, dude, staying consistent. You know, I like that 30-day rule that you tell me, man.
And real estate, I think, is like 60 days.
Dude, it's,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard it, but I've never, like, really thought of it, dude.
60, especially
like,
commercial. Isn't that like a 90-day
I've been telling
rule?
people, dude, like 60, 90 days, you're closing a deal, you know, and it's like, and we were talking about this, about my goals earlier in the year. Like, dude, I'm crushing God, I've been so blessed crushing my goals that I've written out. And I was like, well, my career stuff, you know, my goals that I wanted to hit at real estate, I'm like, man, I'm like barely scratching the surface. Like, but you know what? I've been priming the pumps continuously, you know, where I know it's all just a matter of time, just all in one shot. But it's like having that consistency to keep doing the stuff that you never wanted to do. Like for me, follow-ups, you know.
The fortune, that's where the fortune is.
That's where the fortune is, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. I got clients off of that, just following up with certain people in my
could be years later too.
Absolutely, man. And you hear the stories too. I follow other real estate agents like, oh dude, I followed up, you know, I kept in touch, you know, and that's why, you know, having, you know, getting out of your element, doing certain stuff, podcasts, newsletters, or whatever you need to do to stay relevant, but still like, you know, serve a purpose and a value and be a servant, man. And
take the risk too, man. Take the risk. Like and it was one thing I constantly tell people, like if it's eating at you, just do it. Because you can at least say, oh well, instead of what if. You know what I mean? Like just do it, take it, and like the lessons will stick. The money will probably be gone. It will come back, but the lessons themselves will stick. And so it's I don't know, but like again, here's another quote, right? And again, I love the little things that he told me, my mentor years ago, that still stick to this day is success happens gradually and then it happens suddenly. But the gradually is what prepares you for the suddenly. And we all know those stories of people just falling into success, lottery, right? And then but they don't know how to hold it. It's a marriage, right? The success is another relationship. You got to balance with someone. There's good and bad days, but you got to keep that relationship strong. But if you get thrown into that relationship not knowing how to handle it, right? So I'm blessed for the gradual part, for the years of 22.
That's the dream, dude.
Because now I know how to like the suddenly. I know how to keep my toes down and like look for the things that could come quick and destroy it. You know what I mean? And also the things that get me in trouble. Like I know I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah, man. That's what's up, brother. Awesome, brother. Well, hey, man, thank you so much for being here, dude.
Thank you for having me, man.
That's amazing, bro. And you provided a bunch of nuggets for people watching, man. And I greatly appreciate you. And Can't wait to have you back on with your lady, dude, and talk about, that journey and getting into trouble,
That'll be
what I'm saying?
fun.
So
Yeah, that'll
that's
be
what's up,
fun.
bro. No, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you,
All
man.
right,
Thank
brother.
you.
Cool.
I can't take no loss.